Ladies and gentlemen, let's get something straight right from the outset. If you want to inspire deep, lasting commitment from a man, you must embody something far greater than fleeting attraction or surface-level charm. You need to cultivate a habit so powerful, so transformative, that it compels him to see you not as a mere option, but as an irreplaceable cornerstone of his future. Men, whether consciously or subconsciously, are drawn to structure and stability. This isn't to say that they seek rigidity or perfection, but rather a sense of order that counterbalances the natural chaos of life. In many ways, a committed relationship is an agreement to build something meaningful together, something that lasts. And for a man to truly commit, he must feel that the person he's with is capable of fostering that stability alongside him. Consider how the world operates. It is unpredictable, full of challenges, and often overwhelming. A man, especially one with ambition, is constantly navigating pressures from work, society, and even his own internal doubts. If a relationship feels like yet another chaotic force in his life, one filled with drama, uncertainty, or emotional instability, he will instinctively retreat from the idea of long-term commitment. He will see it as a burden rather than a foundation. But when a woman demonstrates the ability to bring order to both her life and by extension his, it shifts everything. This does not mean taking on the role of his mother, nor does it mean fixing all his problems. Rather, it's about embodying a sense of emotional and psychological steadiness. It's about showing that you can handle life's difficulties with grace, that you are not easily swayed by fleeting emotions, and that you offer a space where he feels both challenged and secure. A woman who is in control of her own life, who has direction, emotional intelligence, and the ability to create harmony in the midst of difficulty, is inherently attractive on a deeper level. She signals to a man that being with her will enhance his life rather than complicate it. This is why men often commit to women who exude confidence, clarity, and self-sufficiency, not because they want someone entirely independent, but because they want a partner who brings a sense of purpose and structure to their shared future. When a man sees that a woman creates stability rather than disorder, he instinctively recognizes her as someone worth building a life with. And that realization is the foundation of real, lasting commitment. A man doesn't commit simply because he enjoys spending time with someone. He commits when he sees that his life will be undeniably better with that person in it. This is a fundamental truth about male psychology and relationships. Enjoyment is fleeting, but a vision for the future is what solidifies a bond. If a man does not perceive a clear benefit to long-term commitment, he will hesitate or avoid it altogether. This is not about manipulation or forcing a man to see your value. Rather, it's about demonstrating through your actions and presence that your relationship offers something meaningful beyond temporary pleasure or convenience. Men, particularly those who are ambitious or forward-thinking, are always assessing the trajectory of their lives. They are naturally wired to seek purpose and direction, and when they choose a partner, they are subconsciously asking themselves, will this relationship support or hinder my future? A woman who inspires commitment is someone who aligns with that future, someone who adds depth, meaning, and stability to his life. This means being more than just someone he enjoys being around. It means being someone who complements his ambitions, who encourages his growth, and who creates an environment where he feels like he is becoming a better version of himself. Men do not fear commitment itself. They fear committing to the wrong person. They fear investing their time, energy, and resources into something that will ultimately restrict them rather than elevate them. When a woman demonstrates that she is capable of co-creating a meaningful future, one that nurtures both her own aspirations and his, she becomes indispensable in his mind. This is why clarity of purpose is so important. A woman who knows what she wants, who has a sense of direction, and who actively builds a fulfilling life for herself is naturally more attractive in a long-term sense. She doesn't need to convince a man to commit. Her presence alone makes commitment the obvious choice. A man who sees that a future with her is richer, fuller, and more stable than a future without her will not hesitate to take that step. True commitment is not born from neediness, dependence, or the fear of being alone. It is sparked by self-respect, autonomy, and an unwavering sense of personal identity. A man does not commit because he feels pressured or obligated. He commits because he recognizes that the woman he is with is someone of high value, someone who maintains her own sense of self regardless of the relationship. When a woman has self-respect, she does not settle for less than what she deserves. She does not chase after validation, nor does she tolerate behaviors that undermine her worth. This creates a natural dynamic where a man understands that being with her is not a given. It is something he must earn and continuously work to maintain. Men value what they must work for, and they do not deeply respect what is simply handed to them without effort. A woman who knows her worth commands a different kind of presence, one that compels a man to step up rather than take her for granted. Autonomy is equally crucial. Many people mistakenly believe that deep love means merging identities, but this often leads to unhealthy dependence. A woman who maintains her individuality, her passions, her friendships, and her sense of purpose remains endlessly intriguing to a man. She is not looking for someone to complete her, but rather for someone to complement the fulfilling life she has already built. This is what keeps a relationship alive and dynamic. Men are drawn to women who do not lose themselves in the relationship. They are inspired by those who maintain their confidence, their standards, and their ability to stand firmly on their own. This does not mean being cold or distant. It means understanding that a healthy relationship is one where two whole individuals choose to build something together, rather than relying on each other for validation or emotional survival. A woman who respects herself and stays true to her own path does not need to convince a man to commit. Her very presence inspires it. She becomes someone he does not want to lose, not because he fears being alone, but because he knows that being with her elevates his own life in ways he never imagined. Men, whether they realize it or not, are deeply influenced by the emotional and psychological stability of the person they choose to commit to. While attraction and excitement may initially draw a man in, it is a sense of security, both emotional and mental, that makes him stay and fully invest. A relationship that feels unpredictable, filled with unnecessary drama or emotional turbulence, signals to a man's subconscious that committing long-term could bring more instability than fulfillment. At the core of a man's decision to commit is a fundamental question: does this person bring peace or chaos into my life? A woman who has control over her emotions, who handles challenges with grace rather than impulsivity, and who can navigate difficulties without creating unnecessary tension, naturally cultivates a deep sense of trust. This does not mean suppressing emotions or avoiding difficult conversations. Rather, it means responding to situations with thoughtfulness rather than reacting from a place of insecurity or fear. When a woman demonstrates emotional resilience, she becomes someone a man feels safe with, someone he can open up to, rely on, and build a future with. Men may not always articulate this need, but they instinctively seek it. They want a partner who can provide a sense of grounding, someone who can handle life's inevitable challenges without falling apart or turning the relationship into a battlefield. Psychological stability is equally important. A woman who has a solid sense of self, who is not constantly questioning her worth or seeking external validation, creates an environment where love can thrive naturally. She does not rely on a relationship to define her happiness, and this paradoxically makes her more desirable. Men respect and admire women who can stand strong in their own identity because it signals that they are choosing to be in the relationship, not depending on it for their emotional survival. A man's deepest commitments are reserved for the person who makes him feel emotionally secure. If a woman embodies stability rather than unpredictability, strength rather than fragility, and confidence rather than neediness, he will instinctively recognize her as someone worth committing to for life. A man does not commit to a woman simply because of how she looks or how much fun they have together. He commits when he recognizes that she plays a vital role in his personal growth. At a fundamental level, men seek purpose. They want to become more than they are, to achieve something meaningful and to evolve into their highest potential. A woman who nurtures that ambition, who encourages progress rather than stagnation, becomes someone irreplaceable in his life. This does not mean that a woman must push a man towards success or take on the responsibility of his development. Instead, it means creating an environment where he feels supported, inspired, and challenged to be his best self. When a man feels that a relationship is elevating him rather than holding him back, he sees it as an essential part of his future. There is a profound difference between a woman who merely accepts a man as he is and a woman who sees his potential and subtly inspires him to reach it. The first offers comfort, which can be pleasant but ultimately unmotivating. The second offers a combination of support and high standards, which compels him to step up, to take responsibility, and to continuously improve. Men respect and commit to women who bring out the best in them, who make them want to become stronger, wiser, and more capable. However, this kind of influence is never about control or manipulation. It is about embodying growth yourself. A woman who is constantly improving, learning, and striving for her own goals naturally encourages the same in her partner. Her presence alone serves as a reminder that life is about forward momentum, not complacency. Men do not want a partner who passively exists beside them. They want someone who makes the journey richer, more meaningful, and more fulfilling. When a man looks at a woman and realizes that she is not just someone he enjoys, but someone who elevates him in ways he cannot ignore, the thought of committing to her becomes not just a choice, but a necessity. A woman who wants a man to commit must first take full control of her own life. Many people fall into the trap of thinking that love and commitment come from pursuing someone relentlessly, molding themselves to fit another person's expectations, or making a relationship the central focus of their existence. But the reality is that commitment is drawn to strength, not desperation. A man is far more likely to commit to a woman who is already living a life of purpose and fulfillment, rather than one who is waiting for him to give her life meaning. When a woman has a clear sense of who she is, what she wants, and where she is going, she sends a powerful message. She is not looking for someone to complete her, she is already whole. This is incredibly attractive to a man because it removes the pressure of being her sole source of happiness. Instead of feeling like he has to save her or be responsible for her emotional well-being, he sees her as someone who adds value to his life, just as he adds to hers. Self-sufficiency does not mean pushing love away or acting like relationships don't matter. It means prioritizing personal growth, passions, and goals, regardless of whether a man is in the picture. A woman who invests in herself, her career, her health, her friendships, and her personal development naturally becomes someone worth committing to. She radiates confidence and security, qualities that make a man feel safe in choosing her as a lifelong partner. Ironically, when a woman stops chasing commitment and starts focusing on creating a meaningful life for herself, that is often when commitment finds her. Men are drawn to women who have built something worth being part of. They want to step into a life that is already vibrant, not one that is waiting to be rescued. A woman who controls her own destiny does not need to convince a man to commit. He will see the undeniable value of being with her, and the decision to commit will come naturally.